Around 6 months ago, I spent £1,400 on a new MacBook Pro, all because I was cooking with my previous 2014 MacBook Pro and I knocked oil all over it. After a year of using it, I've got a pretty good understanding of the pros and the cons of the M1 Macbook Pro. So in this video, we're going to run through 5 reasons why you definitely should buy this amazing laptop. So let's get into it with the first reason why you definitely should buy the M1 MacBook Pro, and I think this is something you should probably already know: speed. This laptop is obviously lightning quick, and it's obviously the reason why I got it in the first place. So Apple have combined all of the different chips, the CPU and all that jazz, into one system on a chip, the SoC, which is the M1. First time they've ever done it, well, as far as I'm aware, and it's had some huge effects on the speed of the laptop and how fast it can process things. By doing so, they've made sure that the laptop is faster overall, so things take less time to do, and they are super quick and super fast.
So here I've got Notion open. In the background I've got Final Cut, but then I've got a bit of Spotify running, loads of different tabs. There's a bit of Matt Developer playing in the background, video on the second screen. There's no stuttering, no issues, works super well.
I'm not going to bore you with all of the speed stats that Apple give you because I find them quite confusing, to be honest, and I also think they're a little bit boring. But what you need to take from me is that it is super fast. The instant wake feature is excellent, apps snap open, and you can multitask with loads of different things going on at once and loads of tabs.
How cool is that?
So yeah, the M1 MacBook Pro is really fast. I haven't seen it even flicker or stutter whatsoever, and it was very clear from the research I did online that the time taken for editing is pretty much cut in half for the render process. So yeah, the laptop is super fast. And this brings me pretty nicely onto the second reason why you definitely need to buy this amazing M1 MacBook Pro, which is by bringing together all of the different chips, it is much faster, but it's also way more efficient, and so the battery life is absolutely amazing. For me, it lasts pretty much the whole day on one charge, and that is made up of a few hours on YouTube maybe, doing some emails, a little bit of editing. Nothing too strenuous, but it's great to have full day battery life from a laptop. I'm also very reliably informed that the M1 version of the MacBooks gets almost twice the amount of battery life as the Intel-based MacBook Pros, which is kind of amazing really. And you can have a look online for all the different battery tests where you can see that what Apple says is actually pretty accurate. Next up, number 3 is that damn beautiful Retina display. To me, it's bright and colourful, and if you watch the Apple keynote, you'll be blasted with all the different 10x brightness this and 25 colour spectrum this. But yeah, I think it looks great, and if you look on Tom's guide, they've crunched loads of the numbers about the display. In our lab tests, the M1 MacBook Pro's screen averaged 439 nits of brightness, which is significantly higher than the 365 turned in by the MacBook Air. So yeah, the display's really good. And then the final reason to get the M1 MacBook Pro, and this is more of a specific case, not probably appropriate for everybody, is the onboard mics, which are a massive improvement on the previous iteration of the MacBook. Obviously this is great if you're working from home, especially in current times where working from home has actually become the norm. You want a laptop that's got good enough microphones on it so that you can chat away to people and be heard pretty well and not have nice crisp audio. And then it's worth saying that if you're looking at this review from the perspective of owning a Windows laptop or basically a non-MacBook, there's obviously 1,000,001 reasons to get the MacBook Pro in the first place. It's beautiful, the display's great, the speakers are amazing, but I think the 4 main reasons that I've given you of amazing screen, battery life, performance, and the mics are a really good reason why you should upgrade if you're upgrading to the M1 MacBook Pro. Like anything in life though, obviously there are some downsides to the M1 MacBook Pro. It's not perfect, and it's worth looking at the other side of the argument just to make sure you're making the right decision, because £1,400 is a lot to spend on a laptop. So click here for my video on the reasons why you should not buy the M1 MacBook Pro, and I'll see you there. Cheers.